Yesterday, let's start here. I told you about the manufactured crisis on our southern border, a sudden spike in unaccompanied children crossing illegally into America and in alarming numbers. Now, conveniently, both the Republicans and the Democrats are rushing to act on immigration reform. The Blaze is continuing to follow this story. We go to Washington, D.C. in our newsroom in Washington, and Sarah Carter, she is an expert on the border. She's the one who's uncovered many of the tunnels and the tunnel systems that went into the United States from Mexico, and she's following this for us. Sarah, help us out on how is this happening? Do you believe there's any coordination at all from the Mexican government or anything?
I believe there's something going on in Central America and with the Mexican government at this point in time. What it is, I don't exactly know. And like you, I've heard the same, that there are commercials, there's news reports about how the United States is taking people in, particularly people with children, and they're not deporting them. There's also this word of mouth. It's a movement by fire. I spoke just moments ago to the Border Patrol Union representative, Derek Hernandez. And what he says he's seeing and what he's hearing from the folks inside the detention facilities is that there's this rapid talk throughout Honduras, throughout Guatemala, throughout El Salvador and Mexico about how the U.S. administration is not deporting anyone, and particularly people with children. So what we're seeing now is this crisis, which began about 2 months ago. And if you go back 8 months and to now, there's about 47,000 plus children that have migrated into the United States. But I remember, Glenn, about 2 months ago, I was contacted by some folks in Brownsville who said they started to see a big increase in the McAllen sector. And that's right there at the tip where you see Matamoros and near the Gulf of Mexico, and then moving on in to where Reynosa, Mexico is. And that's where they're seeing this big influx of people. 800, I'm hearing, to 900 immigrants are crossing every shift. And they're holding about 1,200 every weekend. And that doesn't include the people that they've lost.
Okay, so
this
Sarah,
is incredible.
I really
this is incredible stuff.
I really believe that the left is setting us up as the new Israel. That this is going to be, what are we going to do with these people? And so you're going to have this refugee camp. For the first time in American history, you will have a Palestinian-like refugee camp. And all you have to do then is just start planting the seeds that, you know, these people took your land anyway, this is your land, and you will have the Israeli situation. It's only a matter of time. Does that sound insane to you?
No, it does not sound insane at all. In fact, FEMA had established what they had called emergency immigrant holding facilities years ago. And now what we're seeing is this emergency crisis. I remember looking at that years ago thinking, what are they establishing these emergency facilities for? What kind of immigration crisis could occur? And what we're seeing is this huge wave, this crash of young children. So what do we do with young children? It's different when you talk about adults. When you talk about adults, there's something different. When it's children, it's an altogether different story. I was talking to folks in Arizona. The Nogales station has over 900 children. And you know what the DHS just did? They have removed all the cell phones and all of the devices. They will not allow any Border Patrol official to walk anywhere near the facility with their cell phones because of the leaked pictures. And they've warned them that if they talk to the media or anybody in the media and they're found out, they will be immediately fired.
Good.
So the union is now fighting for their rights, to get their rights back.
Those people, you are protected as a whistleblower. We passed this law. You are protected as a whistleblower, and you have a responsibility to be a whistleblower. Let me ask you about the Romanians, because it's my understanding that we are not seeing just people from South America, but why Romanians? What is happening?
This is really interesting, Glenn. They are seeing an increase in Romanians in the McAllen sector again. And this is kind of goes back to probably the idea that because the United States is progressing forward, or people believe, with an amnesty program. Criminal organizations in Romania and in other parts of the world are using this to perpetuate this American dream, this lie. And I remember reading years ago about a Romanian trafficking organization that would bring people from Romania to the United States, well, to Mexico, for about $8,000 a piece, and then they would charge them even more to get them from Mexico into the U.S. So we have to remember that this is a national security crisis. This is not just about the children that are coming through, which is bad enough, but it's about all the other people that are kind of hooking on to this propaganda, to this amnesty propaganda that's being perpetuated not by just the administration, but by groups, immigrant groups that want to change the laws here in the United States and allow the people to live here without documentation.
Sarah, I will tell you that this is your time. This is your time to become one of the most important reporters, not just at The Blaze, but I think in the country, because you know this situation and you can find out what is going on. But I am telling you, there is coordination south of the border. And I'm not saying that it's coordination. Nobody's calling the White House. It's just all happening. I don't know if there's a bus system or what, but there is coordination on this, and I would love for you to continue to do that. And when we post this, we're going to post this segment up on TheBlaze.com, and I would like you to give Tiffany an email address. I don't know if you want it your regular address, but if anybody has tips, because we have a lot of people that are working down there and a lot of people all around that might be able to tip you off. And if you want to be a whistleblower, you contact this woman. She is absolutely fearless, and this network will run the truth. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sarah. All right.
Thank you, Glenn.